Quaymet, my home. Teeming capital of the quintocracy. 5 regions of space governed in relative peace, sprawling across a third of our galaxy. But beyond that, the frontiers, the unknown, filled with planets and beings beyond our control or ken. Explorers, scientists, and reckless adventurers bring back tales and legends, and sometimes more. Ah, the unknown. It can be thrilling when it's a rumor, far, far from home. But when it's unleashed in your own backyard, in the middle of a moonless night, this tale revolves around a distant, rumored world of great beauty and instant death. An artifact brought back from it that we had enshrined right here in the capital. An artifact waiting to be reborn that should have remained on its home world. A distant and exotic planet of jewel-encrusted cliffs and kaleidoscopic clouds, known as Asezhia.
Welcome to Reimagined Radio, a program about radio storytelling. I'm Jack Armstrong. With each episode, we combine dialogue, sound effects, and music to engage your listening imagination. This episode is no different, and here to tell you about it is John Barber, producer and host.
Thank you, Jack. Hello, everyone. Welcome. The radio storytelling you're about to hear was written by Jerrel McQuen and produced by Marc in 1989, both 31, living in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area of Florida. I think it's a perfect episode for Halloween, which is just a week away. This story, originally called Vapors, is a sophisticated techno-noir drama of interdimensional terror. It was part of a program produced by Rose and McQuen called Shriek Show, a half-hour commercial radio anthology series leaning towards science fiction and horror. With its fun tagline,
"If you can hear it, it can see you." This is Shriek Show.
Shriek Show was heard on national and international commercial radio stations from 1988 to 1989. After its premiere broadcast, Vapors was shelved and never rebroadcast. Until now, as an episode of Reimagined Radio. The name is changed. It's now Asezhia, but the story is the same. A legend about the ruby of death and ecstasy, rumored to be found on an ancient world of jewel-encrusted cliffs and kaleidoscopic clouds. When the ruby is stolen, a beast appears as a predatory terror with an insatiable hunger for flesh, a thirst for killing, and a sensual desire for the exquisite moment when life meets death. Reimagined Radio is pleased to once again broadcast this great example of radio storytelling. The cinematic sound qualities are especially striking. You may want to listen through your headphones for best effect. Our radio storytelling originates from KXRW-FM, Vancouver, Washington's community radio station. We thank them for their support. And we thank you for joining us as Reimagined Radio presents Asezhia.
See? We can take this window pane right out.
How Trickles found out about the ruby was the first mystery. Trickles is a rather pathetic professional stoolie, in a ragged overcoat and cap 2 sizes too big. He has this habit of wiping his perpetually runny nose on his sleeve, hence the name. And while it was known there was a fake of a legendary ruby in the Quaymet Metro Museum, Break-ins were not Trickle's usual style. My first tip-off, in this pea-soup fog of an affair. Oh, I forgot to mention the Jacta, a mysterious little bat-wing creature, intensely intelligent and loyal. Trickle's only true friend.
Oh, you found it, Jacta. The ruby of death and ecstasy. It's so big. Look at it sparkle, Jacta. It's like the light, it moves around inside. You love shiny things. What do you mean you don't want it? Well, I want it, and I'm gonna take it. Ow! The ruby, it's frozen in my hand. Oh, shit, it's lead-footed, Jacta. Ruby, it's all wet. It's melting in my hands. Ow! My ruby.
Warm rainwater in a puddle served as the catalyst. The ruby dissolved and then exploded into a blood-red column of water and smoke.
Get out of here, Jacta. Get help.
The column of mist compressed and then took shape.
You're listening to Reimagined Radio. Our episode is Asezhia, written and produced by Marc Rose and Jerrel McQuen for their sci-fi and horror radio series Shriek Show, heard on several commercial radio stations from 1988 to 1989. Asezhia has its roots in Dry Smoke and Whispers, an earlier radio science fiction detective series by Rose and McQuen, produced when they were both 24 and launched January 18, 1980, with the tagline, quote, "A mystery science fiction cinema and sound adventure," unquote. Now, I can't remember being 24 years old, much less imagine creating something of the sweep and depth of Dry Smoke and Whispers. But I, and you, don't have to imagine. Harlan Ellison, author of 40 books and prolific columns of iridescent insight for Future Life and LA Weekly, was there, in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the Rose family home, where Marc and Jerrel played him a demo tape. This was in March 1982, well before the digital turn and all its magic. And as Ellison wrote, quote, "I am amused and captivated at the professional quality and the depth of imagination. Rose tells me he's done over 145 different voices for the show. He writes all the music. Every bit of sound effects and editing is done right here in his home." When he returned to Los Angeles, Ellison carried with him taped episodes of Dry Smoke and Whispers, which he arranged to be broadcast as part of Mike Hodell's Hour 25, heard on KPFK-FM. Dry Smoke and Whispers and Asezhia takes place in another dimension, on the planet called Quaymet, the capital of a galactic civilization. There, Special Detective Emile Song and Professor Durek Henchard solve problems much in the mold of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, with a dash of Blade Runner and Casablanca for spiciness. The series ran for 5 years on public radio stations in 60 markets in 3 countries and received grants from the National Endowment for the Arts and the Florida Fine Arts Council. Rose and McQuen paused Dry Smoke and Whispers in 1985 to pursue jobs with regular paychecks. The pause was a short one, only 3 years before Rose and McQuen began producing Shriek Show in 1988. McQuen relocated to Portland, Oregon in 1996. Rose followed in 1999. There, they rebooted Dry Smoke and Whispers in 2004. The Shadow Man series and other episodes were heard on Sirius XM satellite radio and many public radio stations.
It was a summer when the entire galaxy seemed ready to ignite. Emile Song, special detective, was about to find out who had struck the match.
Now we align all for the good of the few who shall lead the many.
This is the secret catacomb cathedral of the Sons of the Assigned. We're in the presence of the most dangerous men in the galaxy. I always wondered where they met. The Lord knows it would be a place like this.
Then you know this is a mystic cult of the privileged and wealthy that goes back uncounted generations.
There, on the catwalks! Someone running up on the conjunction! Guardian sees and imprisoned!
No, anywhere but here.
Castle Manhelencow.
Now he was caught between that fire and a shadowy figure out of his darkest dreams.
You will not have the boy.
Oh, but we will.
Father, no!
For this conjunction, I am the Shadow Man.
This contract flies in the face of the All-Giver.
Ceasefire! Identify yourselves!
We are deep in the blood now.
When this goes through someone, it's personal. On guard.
You clueless little conniver! Ah, else! Our friends are vaporized, Jenny. Atom particles floating around the capital scrapyard!
No!
The Shadow Man Saga. Season 4 of the only trans-dimensional drama on Earth. Dry Smoke and Whispers, Helodio Theater. You will tell me all you know.
In 2008, the Phantom of Delguire Manor series was released. Rose and McQuen engaged with Portland's audio drama, radio storytelling community. The reimagined radio episode WRW Retrospective chronicles their connection with the Willamette Radio Workshop, founded and directed by Sam A. Mowry. So far, you've heard about a hellish denizen loose on Quaymet. Detective Song may be out of his reckoning as he goes up against a skeletal fiend that can vanish into a ruby mist. Let's continue listening.
Professor, thanks for the drop-in. I take it you've got a hot case. And client. Heard of Abra Shahad?
Abra, the Holovid star?
In the flesh. Says she has a case for us that's more than a matter of life and death.
No, you don't suppose this has anything to do with her missing husband?
The actor, Alex Hunt? Movie Town Lowdown made him out a high-roller gigolo with an off-planet bank account. Oh, we'll soon know. Here she is.
You and your telepathy, I'll see her in.
The professor and I go way back. Professor Durek Henchard, Esquire, full title, weapons expert, history buff, an invaluable aid in solving many a mystery. And speaking of mysteries, Abra was a classic, inscrutable, raving beauty. Black hair shot with red highlights, penetrating yet sympathetic eyes. I immediately liked her, but sensed an impenetrable reserve, one of those women who keep a place in their soul no man would ever know.
Mr. Song, have you heard of the ruby of death and ecstasy?
Well, I've heard the legend, something about the ruby granting death or immortality.
What if I told you the legend and the ruby are real? That when you touch it, the ruby dissolves, and out of it comes a demon, Mr. Song, pure and simple. I don't know what else to call it.
I'd have to ask how you knew.
Because I've seen it with my own eyes. Because such a creature murdered my husband.
Alex Hunt? Dead? Forgive me, but I'd heard...
He deserted me? A cover-up. The truth is here. A filmed record verifying everything I've just told you on holodisc.
You can't be serious.
Play it, Mr. Song, and both of you will believe.
You found it?
I found it.
It's in a cold storage bell?
Oh, it's quite authentic.
I don't believe it is. It's the ruby.
That's strange. It's like an edit.
The ruby's melting in my hands.
Oh, heavens. The red mist is totally enveloping him.
You see? Now do you believe?
I believe something very strange happened. I'm sorry, but I must ask some very direct questions.
Of course. I should have watched the disc again. Go ahead.
Why does the disc end so abruptly?
A blackout, Mr. Song, over 6 city blocks. Just as the mist transformed into it.
Excuse me, Song, but Miss Shahad, how did you and Mr. Hunt come by the ruby to begin with?
I gave it to him. Alex was a collector. Any old relics or legends. It was almost an obsession. I bought the ruby in Quaymet Budana. I didn't know it was real. And we used to video our special events. I gave it to him for our anniversary. He was so overjoyed. And then
I'm sorry.
Miss Shahad.
Please, just call me Abra.
Abra. The mist became demon. The demon killed Alex, and then...
It came after me.
Well, how did you escape?
Intense cold freezes the thing back into ruby form. We had a dry ice extinguisher in the hall, and when it... I didn't have anything else to fight with. I wasn't thinking.
You accidentally put the demon on ice. But what did you do with the ruby then?
It was sold.
What?
Along with Alex's collection. To the Quaymet Metro Museum.
But if it's as dangerous as you say...
I was in shock, Mr. Song. You didn't see what it did. The whole room, Mr. Song. Nothing but blood. And Alex... I remember calling my agent, my people. They took care of things, and I just went away. I couldn't deal with it. I should have called the police, but who would have believed me? And now, what do I do? This horrible killer will end up loose in the capital, butchering people, and it'll be my fault.
Loose? Here? What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking. That's why I'm here tonight. Not 2 hours ago. The ruby. It was stolen from the Metro Museum. I can't be responsible for this. You've got to find it, Mr. Song, before it transforms and before more innocent people die.
But we were too late. In an alley in the Neon Bowery, Trickles trembled in abject fear before a towering apparition. A living skull glared down at him, purple and red distended veins ran like cabling snakes beneath skin stretched like ice blue parchment over bone, and set into deep sockets, ruby eyes haloed with somehow naked and exposed pink rings of light.
Thank you for our resurrection. You are too small for the hunger. You will procure for us. Do you have a name?
Trickles was too frightened to answer. The demon's ruby eyes flared with anger. A fist unclenched. Out of an orifice in the palm unsheathed a white tendon like a cable of spider flesh, and a claw at the end like a cross between metal and bone, clamped viciously onto Trickles' arm.
Your name!
Trickles! My name is Trickles!
Call us.
This is Reimagined Radio. I'm John Barber, producer and host. We'll return to Asezhia in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about the Fusebox Show. It's a different kind of radio storytelling, full of quirky, interdimensional conversation and comedy, and characters with their own sense of terror. Here's a sample.
Fusebox.
Lurking somewhere in the countless thousands of pages of that user agreement that nobody ever reads is the line, "And everything you say, think, have thought, will think, now and into perpetuity, is the sole and undivided property of Google and its many tentacled associates in this and any other dimension." The targeted attack by a school board member who took issue with a Disney movie shown in her classroom.
Was it Debbie Does Pluto?
No, Mr. Keynes.
Then, of course, there's LQRMPHZ.
I don't know that.
No, it's pronounced Steve.
Okay, yeah, very foreign.
From Pluto.
If the paddle hit the ball, the cells would receive a nice, predictable stimulus. But if it missed the ball, the cells would get 4 seconds of totally unpredictable stimulation.
Sounds like my first marriage.
Catch Fusebox the first Wednesday of the month at 12:30 p.m. here on KXRW 99.9.
Learn more at the Fusebox Show website, thefuseboxshow.com. This is Reimagined Radio. Our episode is Asezhia, written and produced by Marc Rose and Jerrel McQuen. Their story, a finely balanced mixture of adventure, imagination, and horror, takes place in another dimension, on a planet called Quaymet. There, Special Detective Emile Song and Professor Durek Henchard are up to their necks in trouble. Let's continue with our story.
There are more things in heaven and earth. But was Abra on the level? After she left, I asked the professor about the original legend of the ruby.
Well, it all started 2 centuries ago, when a science team landed in a special ship on the phantom planet of Asezhia.
Asezhia was a gas giant, wasn't it? Immense gravity, toxic atmosphere?
Yes, that's right. Well, they anchored to a plateau, found it littered with rubies the size of your fist and larger. Took some on board. Legend has it the rubies were of such mesmerizing, siren-like beauty.
The crew broke quarantine and touched the rubies.
Supposedly, every man died differently. One rather libidinous man died in erotic rapture. Another more spiritual said he heard angels singing, saw a white light transporting him up to heaven. But one man survived, became more than human, became immortal. It's said he left Asezhia with a second ruby, so he could make another like himself. Oh, you don't believe all this, do you?
Well, not yet, but... What? It's the Jacta,
Trickle's little friend.
Terribly agitated. I'm gonna link up with him telepathically and find out what's wrong. Oh my God.
What is it?
Trickle stole the ruby from the museum. This much of Opera's story is true. Something did come up out of the ruby. Jacta saw it as an aura, the kind around dead things. Trickles is in terrible danger. Take us back to the alleyway, Jacta. Show us where it happened. Here, Professor. This puddle is where the ruby melted.
God. It's like spinal fluid.
Maybe I can pick up something telepathically.
Song? You've gone white as a sheet. What's wrong?
I've never picked up on anyone or anything like the creature that stood here. We may be too late. The psychic trace is hours old. They've gone to Trickle's hideout in the capital scrapyard.
They?
The demon is loose, Professor. The legend is real. The Metal Zone. A nightmarish industrial district. Not fit for man, tailor-made for beast. This is where Trickles lives, in the capital scrapyard, in the hull of an old abandoned cruise ship.
This is your home.
I'm sorry.
We like it.
The inside of Trickle's refuge was like a gutted jetliner, a flotsam decorated sanctuary. Toys, artifacts, stolen treasures, a shrine to a lost little boy who'd never have the chance to grow up.
This is a fine home.
Is there... What's wrong?
We are so long in the cold sleep. Now the blood pumps, the hunger returns.
I have some fruit I figgled away from the market just yesterday.
This is Reimagined Radio. I'm John Barber, producer and host. With each episode, we explore radio storytelling using voice, sound effects, and music. Here are some examples.
One of the strangest sounds one can hear in London these days, or rather these dark nights, just the sound of footsteps walking along the street, like ghosts shod with steel shoes.
I have something going on inside me, and I think that all affected the way my radio programs developed. In a way, the absurdity came from the life I was leading. There was a certain craziness about what was going on when I was young.
America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds.
Reimagined Radio. Nothing to see, everything to hear. Heard the third Monday of every month at 1 p.m. Sundays at 6 p.m. on KXRW 99.9 FM.
This year's remaining episodes include a tribute to the Dimension X science fiction series and Volume 4 of our annual Christmas Sampler. Dimension X was one of the first science fiction anthology series produced for adult listeners. Many earlier series were geared for younger audiences. Heard on radio from April 1950 to September 1951, Dimension X episodes were adapted from future visions by then contemporary science fiction writers, many of whom are now household names. Their visions of space travel and fantastic technology have proved quite accurate. We'll sample from the first episode, The Outer Limit, which may be the most used science fiction story on radio. For our December episode, we'll sample from a variety of early radio programs, each celebrating the holiday season with unique flares. We've done this for the past 3 years, and it's been quite popular with listeners. I hope you will join us again. More information and listening opportunities are available at our website, reimaginedradio.net. Reimagined Radio is also available as podcasts. Subscribe, listen, like, and review wherever you get your podcasts or from our website. This episode is called Asezhia, the name of a distant world with a dark history. As we've heard so far, Special Detective Emile Song and Professor Henchard seek to find a beast with a penchant for killing before it finds them. Will they be successful? Let's return to our story and find out.
Do that, no one will follow me home. Rubies. Dozens of rubies like magic.
Find us a woman. Tell her you have more. You'll find one who'll follow you home.
So this is your place, huh?
Uh-huh.
So you're just gonna stand there? Let me see that red ice again. And you might as well tell me what you want for traders. I'll bet you're the watcher type. Sit down. I'll entertain you. Oh!
Yes. You will entertain us.
are you?
We don't remember.
Well, you must have come from somewhere.
We were so long in the cold sleep.
Yeah, but before that...
We remember
two things. The hunger. Yes, we have always had the hunger. Always more. Always bigger, better, more, but it wasn't for just the flesh. We remember things. Wanting things. We were human once.
But the red mist, the fog you turn into, that's not human, that's alien. Is that why you say we? We all the time and not I?
That was the other thing. There are two of us.
That's why your voices are so strange.
there was another world. A very large world. No blinding light to hurt our eyes in the day. There was no sun, only miles and miles of clouds. I remember now. The colors, like your sunsets, but never fading, like canyons of clouds. I remember flying. Yes, no body. I had no body. Soaring. I was nothing but the mist. Soaring over and through the clouds. Why did you make us remember? That's buried in the past. The flesh. Trapped in the flesh.
It was a double full moon. Can you imagine? Some old wino already in a fever dream. Clouds racing across the moons, sending delirium shadows over the twisted junk heap landscape. And then seeing a cloud race by, a glowing, pulsing cloud. A fine mist showers down on you as it passes by. You look down at your hands, suddenly splattered with blood. You look up, just as the blood-red mist churns into an ice-blue face. Just as a fine rain slants down sideways like a million tiny jewels through the pink rings of light around hungry eyes. Ruby eyes. Pinning you down. You can't see. Your vision goes out, except for a tight focus on two bone metal talons, leaping out like snakes, from the palms of white alien hands.
You're listening to Reimagined Radio. Our program is produced with support from KXRW-FM, Vancouver, Washington's community radio station. We appreciate their support. Whatever you can do to help them will be much appreciated. All donations are tax deductible. Our episode is Asezhia, a potent mix of interdimensional science fiction and horror by Marc and Jerrel McQuen. As I mentioned previously, Emile Song is a special detective. What does that mean? Well, he's telepathic, and that special ability is about to pay off. Let's keep listening.
The Capitol scrapyard, out in the metal zone, always set my heart pounding to the wrong rhythm. But tonight, it felt like a descent into hell. We arrived at Trickle's hideaway to find the door wide open.
Oh, Song, we're too late.
There he is, in the corner. He's still alive, just unconscious.
His vital signs are strong.
Can you bring him around?
I'll give him a stimulant.
Oh, Mr. Song, Professor.
It's all right. We're here now.
Oh, but we gotta get out of here. If they come back.
They, Trickles?
The beast. They'll kill us.
Too late. Company.
Hold it right there, Mr. Song.
It was Abra, of course, training a bizarre-looking pistol at us like an old pro. No more the convincing ingenue, the femme fatale of her film roles.
I always wanted to say that. I'm sure your professor recognizes my firearm. Though firearm is a misnomer in this case.
It's a freezing gun, capable of shooting a beam of cold so intense it can kill.
Ah, so it wasn't a fire extinguisher that froze Alex back down to crystalline form.
You're correct. A precaution. When we agreed to try the ruby and Alex so gallantly volunteered to go first.
Then this demon thing we're looking for
is Alex Hunt, combined with whatever the ruby really is. You were after the immortality of the legend.
We knew it was a gamble, but we were both risk takers. That's what attracted us to each other. I wanted my Alex forever, and he wanted me. Never to grow old, never to lose
the lust of youth.
That was part of it. Growing old together means watching each other decay into senility. I wanted more, so did he.
But you got more than you gambled for, didn't you? Whatever that ruby really is ended up inside of Alex. That film cut off at the end because he didn't want us to see that red mist sink into Alex's flesh, become one with him, transform him. Well, the ruby gave Alex immortality, but as a monster. A flesh and blood hunger for satisfaction it can never find.
Then the ruby and the mist
is an alien life form whose home world is the phantom planet of Asezhia.
But what could she hope to accomplish setting them free again?
She wants Alex back. Her Alex. The man of flesh and blood. She wants to offer one of us to the red mist of the ruby, trading one host for another, hoping the alien life form will release Alex so that all will be as it was.
You're very clever, Mr. Song. I see your reputation is well deserved. Yes, I want my Alex back. I want him liberated from the grotesque thing that possesses him.
What if your Alex doesn't wish to be liberated?
Abra wheeled, but too late. Her Alex had returned. A claw whipped out and clamped shut on the gun.
We will not be frozen again.
The claw squeezed tight and crumpled the gun like tinfoil, then dropped it to the floor.
Come to us, Abra. Make love to us. We are still your Alex.
No! No!
Don't you understand? We can be truly together. You can join us in the flesh. Be truly one with us. We can share the ecstasy. Share the flesh.
You'll have to kill me first! You're an atrocity! A filth! You're a monster! An alien monster! Give him back to me! Alex is mine! I will not share him! He's mine! Mine!
Abra, you do not understand.
Mr. Song, listen to me. She's all wrong. The alien half, I don't think it wants to be in there. It was telling me about a place, a wonderful place.
Place? Can you remember the name?
No, he didn't give it one. Beast got angry at remembering, and that's when he bonkered me into the overzone.
Then maybe that's our key, huh? I'm going to mind meld with you, Trickles. Think to me all Beast said about his wonderful place. We didn't have much time. I, for one, didn't care to witness this latest consummation of true love. But could I get through to the other side in time? Beast, wait!
Abra, our love. The human approaches. Shall we amuse ourselves? You will watch our delight, Abra. You will witness the true joy of the flesh. Now, come, Mr. Song. Touch minds with us, Emile. Are you reviled by us? Our appetites. Savor the hot blood still pumping through torn flesh.
Listen to me. Remember back. Remember a planet of only clouds. You've forgotten, but you must remember. Stop this! Remember soaring through the clouds. Remember your freedom.
Kill you!
Remember Asezhia. Asezhia!
As you've heard, Asezhia is an imagined world uniquely its own, an amalgam of 1930s detectives and gangsters, steampunk Victorian England, and vaguely exotic and alien Middle Eastern motifs. But Emile Song seems real enough, a champion for justice, living on the vigilante fringe of a future society, the sort of person you'd linger with over a cup of dark roasted waxaquotal beans from the central highlands of Quaymet, listening to his stories. He's eccentric, intelligent, and at this techno-noir drama cliffhanger, he's in real trouble.
Asezhia. That is the word of freedom. Now I remember.
No! Stay!
It It had been a desperate gamble, but it worked. Now we're about to find out who was really what, and from where the evil and the ugliness had truly generated.
Why? You imprisoned me inside this sweatbox of flesh. You drove my memory down from the open sky and buried me in the caves of pain. Why should I stay?
Together we are power. We are invincible. We can take anything we want, conquer all we desire.
For what? To go where? To endlessly feed senseless passion? To victimize through an eternity? You offer me slavery, not freedom.
Then go! I don't need you. I never needed you. I don't need anybody. I don't need anything.
So be it.
We stood in amazement. Red light shone out of every pore of the beast's body. And then, the ice-blue flesh vanished. In ever-widening circles of purifying ruby light, and with a flash of blinding radiance, there were two beings instead of one. Alex, whole but naked and human, falling to his knees.
No! Come back! Don't take the power away from me! I don't want to be like this again.
And up above him, the most beautiful bank of moving and shifting light I've ever seen. Like sunlight shining through facets of purest crystal.
I am free. Emile Song, I thank you for my liberation. In payment for my freedom, I give you the true nature of Asezhia. Now, I go home. Asezhia.
At that word, at that command, a blinding white light appeared at the top of the room. It expanded, became a circular gateway. I caught just a glimpse of towering clouds, canyons of clouds, in all the colors of a million sunsets. The ruby mist soared up into the gateway, and for the briefest moment, I felt the most incredible euphoria, as if all the lost relatives and friends I'd ever had were welcoming me home. And then the gateway closed. The light disappeared. And we were left in the real world. I feel like I've just been given a glimpse of heaven, only to have the gates shut in our face. Well, look at it this way, Professor. At least we're not skating on the edge of the opposite realm.
Oh, Alex! Alex, darling!
Get off me! The universe! The damn universe in my hand, and you screwed it up.
Alex, darling, I saved you! Saved you from that beast! That alien thing!
Good Lord, Song. How can she call that beautiful alien a thing?
I don't think it sunk in that beast was all Alex. Alex turned inside out. His true spirit manifested in hideous flesh and bone by a higher power that had no control over how it was being perverted by a lesser form.
Song, what did the Asezhian reveal to you before it went home?
Oh, just cleared up some odds and ends. Seems the old legend is basically true. You see, Asezhia has a winter season. The Asezhians, being gaseous, a cross between mist and energy, condense down into a solid form.
The rubies.
Right. And ride out the winters in suspended animation.
But they're lethal when touched.
Well, because the atmosphere of Asezhia is deadly to humans.
But the combining?
Well, when an Asezhian is revived by the human touch, well, it's literally sucked inside the human body by the intense heat. Now, 1 in maybe 1,000 humans have a rare gene that makes possible a total RNA-DNA metamorphosis. Unfortunately, in the incredible chaos of jumbled genetic codes, the memories of both beings are lost unless forcibly revived.
So a new being is created out of the two, and the dominant one decides the form.
Yeah, in this case, Alex Hunt. A nasty customer to begin with.
Scares me to think that the beast was totally created by the human side.
What's scarier still is that, according to the legend, there's still one more combined being out there, somewhere, in the dead of the night.
You just listened to Asezhia, written by Jerrel McQuen and produced by Marc Rose. Both live and work in Portland, Oregon, just across the Columbia River, but in another dimension of creative inspiration. First broadcast in 1989 as part of their commercial radio series Shriek Show, Asezhia has, like the demon monster at the center of the story, lay dormant, a jewel of radio storytelling waiting for an audience to breathe life into its inert form. After more than 30 years, Reimagined Radio is pleased and honored to return Asezhia to its rightful medium of radio storytelling, transmigrating you to an alien universe, to bear witness to a thought-provoking drama of naked avarice and noble sacrifice. We'll archive our production of Asezhia, along with other examples of our radio storytelling, at our website, reimaginedradio.net. Podcasts are available at the major platforms or our website. The script for this episode was written by Jerrel McQuen and produced by Marc Rose. The voices you heard include Linda Stroh as Abra Shahad, Kevin Quigley as Alex Hunt, Roland Marks as Beast, Marc Rose as Trickles, Darren Glades as Professor Durek Henchard, Aaron Niles as Emile Song, John Summers as the announcer. Sound design, music composition, and post-production by Marc Rose. Graphic design by Holly Slocum. Reimagined Radio announcer is Jack Armstrong. This is John Barber, producer and host. Thank you for listening.
This has been a production of Reimagined Radio. Our radio broadcasts are heard on local, regional, and international community radio stations. For on-demand streaming, point your browsers to our website, Reimagined Radio. That's all one word, no punctuation, .net. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us again for another episode of Reimagined Radio, where we'll continue our exploration of radio storytelling.